To a large extent, the Korean War was a Cold War conflict. The beginning of Korean War was in June 25, 1950, which was a time when 75,000 soldiers of North Korean military came across the Darius Parallel. The Darius Parallel was the borderline in the middle of Soviet-backed Democratic People's Republic of Korea to the north, and the pro-Western Republic of Korea to the south. There were many reasons leading to this, and the Cold War was one of them. During World War II, USA and USSR fought together as allies. However, after World War II ended, the connection between them changed. Americans were cautious in Soviet communism, and they were worried about the Russian leader Joseph Stalin's dictatorial rule. On the other hand, Soviets felt begrudged about America, not accepting USSR's rules, and slowing them down into the involvement of World War II because it resulted tens of millions of deaths for Russians. So when the war had ended, USA and USSR had lack of trust and hostility to each other. This kind of conflict between them developed and created war again. This war was called the Cold War, and it took place between USA and USSR after World War II was over. Referring back to the Korean War, Cold War was involved. When the attack of North Korea happened, it not only caused the starting point of Korean War, but it made the first act of Cold War. It was at the date of July when military of America became part of Korean War on South Korea's side, and USSR was supporting North Korea's side on the other side. There are many types of war, and some of them were the reasons why Cold War got to be in part of Korean War. First, there's Hot War, which is a war that has only military actions and no discussion at all. Secondly, there's Warm War. This kind of war still has conversation for peace, but it still has involvement of planning in military and weapons, just in case for any attacks and fight that might happen. Lastly, there's Cold War. This is the war that was involved in Korean War within Korea, USA, and USSR. This type of war didn't actually have any violence for actions. Nevertheless, USA and USSR did have conflict over beliefs. Since the war was Cold War between USA and USSR, they became part of Korean War so that they can use it as an excuse for attacking each other. Both of the countries though had strong weapons, and China supported North Korea in Korean War as well, making it harder for Korean War to end. Additionally, because the Korean War didn't end, over 36,576 Americans, 270,000 South Korean military, and 1 million South Korean civilian, and 406,000 North Korean military and 600,000 North Korea civilian was killed or went missing. Therefore, according to these reasons, if Korean War wasn't a large extent in a Cold War conflict, it could have changed the history, resulting peace for everyone in the end.